My husband knows how to do that. Just sometimes a little humor
Get your
can
story
get you
out.
through.
Hi, there was just some elegant, poignant music. In a minute, there's going to be some nuanced stories, and now just a fucking silly goose. Hello. Hello. I am, and this is one of the reasons Nicole asked me to do this, I am about to celebrate 8 years of being cancer-free. Thank you. The warmth of your gratuitous applause is my second favorite radiation treatment. Thank you very much. I feel like as a stand-up comedian, need to lead with dating material. Is there a cancer-y dating material? Yes, there is. So here's my pitch to you guys, because I haven't been on a date in about 5 months on purpose. I'm flying solo, enjoying it, very stressful, having your heart broken. Don't feel like dealing with broken hearts because the world is on fire. So I don't think I'll ever go back to apps because they suck so bad. But if I did, here's my pitch, okay? An app exclusively for people who won't desexualize you if you at some point have had a catheter. That's the entire premise of the app. Now, it's gonna be like for everybody, as long as you agree, you won't desexualize somebody if they at one point had a catheter. Right? Like there's going to be 2 agreements you have to check before you can use the app. And then it'll be like any other dating app. And the first agreement would be like, by clicking this box, I hereby agree, I at no point will make someone feel bad because at one time they'd have their kidney and or bladder hooked up to a thing. And maybe it was gross, but I'm not going to get on their case about it or obsess about it or ruminate on it because I'm a millennial. And then you check that box and you're halfway there. And then there's a second one that says, P.S., just because I am on this site, by checking this box, I hereby affirm, I'm not in like piss play as like a kink. That's not like the whole reason I'm here. Like maybe, but like I keep that like as like a later, like a 5th date thing. Like it's not like a requirement. Like I'm not gonna be like on my first date and be like, hey, will you like take your catheter off and PM me? Some of these people were done with their catheter years ago, leave them alone. That's a second. That's the second thing that I'm going to have. Do not currently have one, ladies. Not that it matters. Wow, it's fun to do catheter material for the right crowd. I'm curious because I was talking to some of the students who are doing a piece tonight. You know, we've got survivors here. Are any of you folks in the audience survivors that want to throw a hand up? Yeah, awesome. What, can I talk to you? Is that okay if I'm nice to you? Hi, I'm Dan. Hi, Christina. Don't worry, I'm not hitting on her. It's weird having to deal with people taking care of you sometimes, right? Like, a lot of codependent people will come out of the woodwork and like take care of you, and then that's like almost worse. Was there anything like really frustrating but like silly that you had to deal with that you feel like nobody understands? Because I feel like there's so many. Would you like me to share first? So like because I went through 9 weeks of BEP chemo, and one of the side effects was it can cause damage to the nerve endings, like on the tips of your fingers. And like, so for like up like a couple years ago, it kept going. I had like almost no feeling in my fingertips, right? And I didn't want to ask for help opening cans of LaCroix. Sometimes I did ask for help because I wanted to get at that LaCroix, right? Sometimes it was key lime and I had to get in that shit. But like, sometimes I just wanted to be a human being. And so what would happen sometimes is it would just be like going like bing, bing, like not on purpose. Like I'm not trying to draw attention to myself, right? This isn't like Morse code for like, come be codependent with me. But like I would be trying to open it, and then these folks would just sort of like swoop in and be like, Dan Telfer needs help opening his LaCroix, everybody. Can I cradle you in my arms while I open this for you? Like drawing all attention to themselves. It's fucking exhausting, right? Because sometimes it was just lemon LaCroix. And it's like just like countertop cleaner. Like you don't need that shit. What about, do you have anything like that? Yeah. Right. That's what. Right. Right. So, and if you didn't hear that, it's like the first time you go chemo, right? Like, even sometimes for like days, weeks, but especially like when you just leave the first one, you're fine. So like, yeah, but people think you're dying immediately. And it's like, it was so much worse for me, like, cause you're holding on to just these bags of poison for months. Like, it takes a while to pee that out, right? But like you feel like you're worst, like 4 weeks after it's all done, when people are like, oh, can they just go to the bar now? So that had to be really frustrating. Was there somebody like your first day who was like, I'm gonna carry you to the car? Basically? Are they sitting next to you right now? And that's why you're being kind of guarded? It's okay, I won't roast them. Yes. Yeah, wow. During COVID. Well, look, I had my big chemotherapy sessions, my hot sessions, in 2016 in the middle of the Hillary Clinton-Donald Trump presidential election. People just couldn't wait to hang out in a place that was less depressing than the 2016 election. So they were just like bringing me pho and pizza and wanting to play with their Nintendo Switch, just fucking hanging out. So I'm sorry you didn't get to experience what I did because it was during COVID, but thank you for sharing that. Can I get her a round of applause? And that is not gratuitous. You didn't fish for that. I did. I was really lucky. I had a big community of comedians who wanted to help take care of me. This one guy did this really nice thing for me when he found out I was sick. He was a little more famous than me. He would get sent these free video games, and he knew I was a nerd, and he was like, I have an extra copy of the video game Overwatch. You can have it, but I'm on tour. However, there's a nanny taking care of my son, and the door should be unlocked, and you can just walk inside. And I was like, okay. And one thing I had in common, like, I have a daughter who's on the autism spectrum. He had a son who was on the autism spectrum. And I was like, well, I've met his son. I feel comfortable. I've never been in his apartment. So, and I've never met his nanny. Should be fine, right? So I show up, and yeah, the door is unlocked and open, and the nanny is putting my friend's son to bed, and they're screaming. Sounds very stressful. I'm like, well, she's not here. I'm not gonna like announce myself and interrupt this very delicate bedtime routine, right? So I just march in the house, grab my copy of Overwatch. By the way, remember when there were physical copies of video games? This feels like it's from the 1950s. So I start walking out, and she comes out, the nanny, and she screams because there's a 6'5" stranger in this house. And I said what would calm anyone down. I said, hey, it's okay, I have cancer, I have a catheter, which I don't think worked exactly how I wanted it to. She kind of was like, that doesn't help. You might be a comedian, but you're not funny because you broke into the house. I'm gonna tell you guys one more thing before I get out of here. So like, I'm very healthy now. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I've a fucking box. Yeah, what's up? And like, it feels really nice. You know, I'm like 100 pounds lighter, and I feel fantastic. But I'm in my 40s now, so sometimes I have to have a doctor look at my heart or my butt, right? So I have to go to these specialists sometimes, right? I just have to get like a little blood test once a year for the old cancer thing, but I do have to sometimes walk past this building, and this is not a building I went to for chemo, okay? But there is a building in fucking Burbank. And again, I'm originally from Chicago. I've lived out here for 10 years. I don't think shit like this should exist. Maybe if you live in LA, this is gonna sound normal to you. But I have to walk past a fucking building called the Disney Cancer Center. Why is that real? You make talking cartoon dogs. Like, I get that you're a billionaire and you want to live forever in the minds of America, but maybe if like that's what you're known for, you fucking calm down a little bit, right? Like, oh, You love how depressing Up was. Come hang out in our chemotherapy center. So like, I know there's really good doctors in there, and I know people are getting really good care, but it's hard to walk past it and not get angry about, the scam that is the American privatized healthcare system and just like this monolith of wealth that's laughing in my face. So no matter how hard I try, I can't get over it. And so every time I walk by the Disney Cancer Center, this is what I imagine is happening inside. So you actually have a very curable kind of cancer. There is a 98.6% survival rate, and I actually pioneered the kind of chemotherapy that you're going to be getting when I was a doctor at Indiana University. So you have a fantastic prognosis. The whole team is really optimistic about your chances. But I always hate this part. Now I have to go send you to the Chippendales Rescue Rangers phlebotomy clinic to get a blood panel done. There's gonna be a guy with a red nose. It's not some Patch Adams shit. He's trying to be Dale from Chippendales Rescue Rangers. Just try not to think about it too much. Then for an MRI, I'm gonna have to send you over to the DuckTales Imaging Center. You're gonna be like, this thing is a real machine, right? Isn't it supposed to make clicking noises when it boots up? Why is it going, woo? It's a DuckTales thing, don't worry about it. The technician's gonna keep saying you have a malady. He means malady. They're contractually obligated to make a duck pun every sentence. Again, try not to think about it. And then we're gonna have to send you over to the frozen chemotherapy center. It might seem like kind of a grim place, but if you have a year-long subscription to Disney Plus, you get 10% off Anna and Elsa wigs in the gift shop. So, win-win? Thank you guys so much for listening to my goofs. Thank you for sharing your story.